What's going on, everybody? We're back again. Shed's back there behind me, and it got a new little friend today that's going to be behind that. But no, today we're talking soil tests and why you really need to get one, especially if you're a first time, like a DIYer, haven't done one before. You need a soil test to know where you're working with, but more importantly, you also need to pick the right one. And I'm going to tell you the one I use because I think it's the right one, because it's going to get you what you need at an extremely affordable and cost-effective rate, and it's based on science, not sales. So let's get to it. So here's my soil test right here. Oh, it's so fancy, pretty bar colors, all that good stuff. And I got my soil test from Waypoint Analytical. Now, why did I choose Waypoint? Well, in the spirit of shopping local, I went with them because they're based here in the state of Tennessee. They're on the other side of the state in Memphis, but they're still in Tennessee, and that's local, and that's important to a lot of people. In the past, I've used Midwest Labs, and then one year, of course, you know, I used the Sunday test. Between Midwest, Waypoint, and even Sunday, they were all using the same testing standards. The only difference between Midwest, Waypoint, and Sunday is Sunday had the results in a different format. Instead of parts per million, it was something per kilograms, but there's conversion for that. Other than that, they're the exact same tests. I already did the sample, set it off because, you know, the results, I didn't want to bore you all with another video of collecting dirt, throwing it in a bag and putting it in a mailbox. Anyone can do that. Okay, so let's kick things right off. Bam, soil test is now on the screen for your viewing pleasure. Right off the bat, we have my soil pH, and that is sitting at a beautiful 7. Next up is phosphorus, potassium. Both of those are in the optimum range. Phosphorus being on the upper end, potassium on the lower end. I'm good with that, and with the potassium, my X-screen applications throughout the year that I'm going to be using will help that a little bit. Calcium's on the low end of optimum, not really worried about that, along with magnesium. That's very high. Again, I'm not worried. I'm not going to do anything to address that. The only thing I might need to pay attention to is phosphorus uptake. Okay, now we're going to drop down, though, into some other items where there may be a concern, but really there isn't. First one being sulfur. That's on the upper end of the low range. But man, it's like, so what am I going to do to correct that? Absolutely nothing other than my regular fertilization, because the X-screen has ammonium sulfate. Then I will also be spraying ammonium sulfate, and the sulfur in that will be more than enough to bring those levels back up, while at the same time, especially with ammonium sulfate, will drop the pH a little bit to counter effect any rise in pH, because while 7 may seem good because it's right in the middle, Bermuda actually really likes around a 6.7, and so I need to actually bring my pH down. Next one's boron. It doesn't matter. There's studies have shown it does really nothing for turf grass. If I was growing soybeans back here to be a little bitch, yeah, I might need to correct my boron levels, but I'm not doing that. So yeah, I don't give a crap about the boron. So the copper's in the low end of the medium range. I'm not too concerned about that. It'll get that from various other applications that has a little bit of copper. It's not something where you're dumping pounds to the ground, and I'll just evaluate for next year. Interesting thing, iron. You would think that it would be through the roof with all my Quad Dark apps, but it's not. It's actually only, you know, on the low end of optimum. And is that optimum to you guys that want that dark green lawn? It probably isn't. So we're going to have to look at that. Then we have manganese. That's in the medium range. Again, it's through any elements that are in what I'm applying. All these micronutrients, that'll get handled. They're staying steady, and looking at past test results, they're all current, and I don't really want to focus solely on micros. I want to focus on the macros, the NPK, because that's honestly the only thing that matters when it comes to growing turf grass. What about my CEC? Oh, why does that even matter? Well, the CEC, a simple way to put it, is just how fast things move through the soil. Mine is sitting at, you know, a pretty decent 8.7, and CEC is something don't to get obsessed with. If you have a high one, that just means you have more clay soil. You can put down a fertilizer application and it will remain there a little bit longer versus like a CEC with like a 2 or a 3. That's sand, and you will benefit from lighter applications of fertilizer more frequently, so you're not wasting fertilizer, not leaching it off. into the environment and damaging things. That's kind of, it just gives you a guide on how you need to calculate your treatment plan. That's just a really simplified way to deal with it. The last bit on the report though is the soil fertility guidelines. That tells you how much NPK to put down and anything else. And that's kind of where this Waypoint test is easier than other tests, especially the kind where you have to put your sample in a little jar, like you're giving it to the nurse to test your fertility. You're testing the ground's fertility, not your manhood. They give you a brief write-up of what you need to do to the lawn. As you can see on mine, they say I need 4 pounds of nitrogen for the year, and that's per 1,000 square feet. And that's kind of where I plan on being with it anyway. I need a ½ pound of phosphorus per 1,000 square feet for the year, and 2 pounds of potassium per 1,000 square feet from the year. And they did recommend breaking up the potassium, doing some in the throughout the year, but the bulk of it in the fall. And with the X screen, it'll just be kind of all throughout the year. They did also mention my sulfur. They wanted me to add 0.2 pounds per 1,000 square feet for the year. Again, 0.2 pounds is not a lot, and that's why I'm saying my ammonium sulfate's gonna fix my sulfur problem. I don't have to buy another product. And the last one's boron. They went 0.02 pounds per 1,000 square feet for the year. The boron that's in some of my products that I'll be putting down, that'll be more than enough. There we go. That's my soil test right there. Super easy to understand. They gave me the recommendations, so even if I didn't know what everything was, if I was low on something, they're going to tell me the amounts to put down. They may not tell you what specific product to use, but they tell you what to apply. What's great about that is that allows you to, source the product and get it at the best available rate for you, and not have to get a bunch of other stuff you don't need. Now the final thing is price point. I said this was an affordable test, and how much is it? Because currently one of the most popular DIY oriented tests is marketed as extremely affordable. Well, that test costs $30. How much did this test cost me? $16.75 or $16.50. I did have to put it in a box and pay my own shipping, but that was only $8. So I'm coming out ahead by like $4 if you round down. So not only is it cheaper, it actually gives you information you can use and other people, if you went to seek additional advice, could use, because you know what all the numbers mean, because they're in a form that everyone understands and that is documented. It is not hidden behind a proprietary sales pitch. That's why I like this one, because anyone knows what that number means. If I have 50 parts per million of phosphorus, I know what that means, not 2.6 of what? Of 2.6 of what am I 2.6 of? Yeah, no freaking clue. So with that, hope you realize that you can save money. The real soil tests are just as easy. You're putting dirt in a bag instead of a plastic specimen tray. You're shipping it out, and you're getting the results emailed. Oh, and speaking of results, this is a fancy printout, but my soil test was delivered on a Friday. 6 p.m. that Friday night, I had the results already in their online portal. They weren't QA checked and didn't go through validations, but I had the preliminary results, and they didn't change based on the QA test. So I had my results almost instantly. You just had to log in and check. That's it. Super easy. Hope you learned something, save some money, but more importantly, get the soil tested, because it's going to save you money in the long run, because now you know what to put down, how much to put down, and you're not wasting anything, and you're doing good things for Mother Earth. Yeah. So with that, I'm like, reellowdad. We'll see you next time when I'm probably going to kill this.